Welcome back to 843 TV. We are now joined by Miss Laurie Kienke, who is a resident and member here at Spring Island. Thank you for joining us.
You're quite welcome.
So you and your husband Bruce decided to move here to Spring Island from Brays Island.
Right.
And tell us what motivated the move.
Well, we still love Brays Island. It was a wonderful place. We have great friends there. But for us, finding a community where nature and a nature preserve was clearly at the center of it, rather than a hunting preserve, was just a better match for us. Gotcha. We also had, I was looking for a more intimate experience in terms of riding, a barn that felt as if I could wrap my hands around it. Mm-hmm. And Bruce was a member at Chichesi, so he was driving a long distance to come. And he golfed here and thought that if he had these two golf courses at his footsteps, he was really out this throat.
So you mentioned riding. Tell us about how you ride and the activities here that are here at the barn.
Do you have 3 hours?
That could be a whole other episode.
It's true. It's fabulous. We have miles and miles of trails. I came to this very late in life. I didn't get a horse until I retired. So many of the women and men here grew up riding. So I'm with this cadre of people who are just great about sharing. And I'm the like worker bee. So I love the riding ring. We have a Class A riding ring. It can pour here in South Carolina, and 4 hours later I can ride into this ring. It's just fabulous for me. So I do all of my practicing in there. I do a little dressage. There's a trainer who comes once a month up from Florida. I love the open environment here. She's very welcome, as is any other trainer who would come. We have a multiplicity of riding. We have all kinds of breeds of horses. They move differently. Some are gated, some are non-gated. But everyone is encouraged to do what moves them. Yeah. And I love this, I should call attempt at dressage. So this lateral movement and a little bit of dancing with my horse is fabulous for me.
And there's the keeper of the stables right
and
there.
Here he is. This is,
He's adorable.
Well, I think somebody called him a mascot once and he was totally offended. So he is actually the, he pretty much rules the rooster. He's a great little guy.
How's the learning curve? You know, you said you didn't really own a horse until you were retired. But did that take a lot of time to?
It's very steep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just really is. I think that when you learn anything as a child,
right,
that's one experience. And my very first riding lesson, not here but in Minnesota, my trainer asked me to come to the 3 o'clock lesson. I had a 5 o'clock lesson with her, and I got there and her student was 5. And she said, look at the way this young lady sits on this horse and emulate her at 5 o'clock. So, you know, it's humbling, but it's also so exciting to be doing something. I mean, I'm not too far off in the future here. I'm looking at 70, and I'm doing something that I feel as if I am like an academic again.
Right.
So I love every part of it. So even when it's hard, I love it. But when I get that 1 minute a month of, oh my God, we're airborne, and the energy is coming from behind and it's flowing into him and back into my hands and through me, and I'm like, whoa. And then I work really hard for another month to get another moment. So
That's awesome.
It's cool.
God, and what are you most passionate about at Spring Island? It sounds pretty passionate.
that obviously is a piece for me, but I don't know, over my life I've been passionate about a number of things, education for many, many years, but what I have found here is probably more of a mission than a passion. And what I'm really looking to do here, and it's so easy to do, is every day find the extraordinary in the ordinary. And I find that here in nature at every turn. And increasingly, I find it in the people who live here. Our staff is just outstanding. And then I find about the things that they do in their other life. And I'm beginning to kind of like weave together all of that so that it feels good. We've been here about 4.5 years now. It's a very special place, and like going back to all of the activities that Janet mentioned earlier, I think one of the things that I had to learn finally by maybe month 10 of my first year was no thank you. Yeah. Because the invitations are endless and the opportunities are wonderful, but you also have to, you have to kind of find that balance that really works for you. And I love my own like quiet time too. So a walk in the woods with my dog, or you know, the simplest of things are often the very best here, because
You cannot do everything.
you can't. No, you can't. You can't. I know, I think women in particular, in both of the places that we lived here in the South, are a little cautious about, is this going to be a playground for my husband, or can I really find a life here?
Yeah.
All I can tell you is you'd have to learn to say no,
Yeah.
because it's endless.
So true.
It's really endless.
What are some of the things that y'all do? I know y'all went up to Charleston to steeplechase and had a nice.
So those are some of our I mean, we did a wonderful activity a year ago. We went to the Rolex, and not only did 10 women from the barn come, but another 10 from the island who just wanted to kind of come and have the experience with us. So where this is definitely its own venue, there are a number of people who come in and out of the barn. Lots of children come in and out of the barn, especially on holidays, which is great.
Yeah.
And you know, activity-wise,
Book
it's
clubs,
just-
painting, ceramics.
I mean, I'm part of a book club and just joined last
Cards.
year, and I've absolutely loved it.
Bridge.
And real quickly, you mentioned children and having their activities here. I've been told I have to ask you about Camp Spring Island on July 4th.
Oh,
Tell us about that real quick.
It's just unbelievable. I mean, we do so many things with our grandchildren. I mean, it's just endless. But the 4th of July party last year, party parade, was paint a horse, decorate your bike, decorate your golf course, show up with the octogenarian leader of the parade, and we marched from here down to the river house, and it was
kids
just so
loved it, I'm
totally
sure.
joyous. Yeah, my 7-year-old grandchild has already said,
Coming back
"Why
next
don't you
year.
come back this
It is
year?"
a huge
This
activity
year.
on the 4th.
It's huge.
Well, Laurie, thank you very much for
You're very
joining us. It
welcome.
was great to hear all your passion and
Yeah,
experiences here about Spring Island.
It's a fabulous place. The biodiversity is amazing, and I'm not talking about the plants and animals.
Right. Well, thank you. And thank you. And please join us for one more segment of 843 TV.